Hey everybody, how's it going? Today, let's take a detailed look at the very exquisite and quite rare 2009 Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe. And this is going to be a detailed, in-depth review of the Phantom Coupe. We'll start it up, show the engine, get an exhaust clip and go over the performance data, and show you a bunch of the unique aspects of the interior as well as exterior. And before we begin, I'd like to extend a big thanks and special shout out to Tobin Motor Cars located in Las Vegas, Nevada for allowing me to come out and film this 2009 Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe. And so, without further ado, let's go ahead and start her up, let her run. The exterior color is known as diamond black metallic, and when you open up the very unique suicide doors, you're greeted by very warm seashell leather interior. A nice light color combination definitely suits the particular model. And the vehicle does have push button start. All you have to do is insert the fob into the dash, put your foot on the brake, hit the button to go. The Phantom Coupe comes standard with speed proportional rack and pinion power steering, very fluidic, with a thin rimmed steering wheel wrapped in supple leather, leather grip extensions off to the side here, and a 3-spoke multifunction steering wheel with high gloss wood veneer inlays. As far as the transmission, standard is an electronically controlled 6-speed automatic. To activate, pull in, down for drive, pull in and up for reverse, and then just tap it in for park. So we're going to flip on the automatic headlamps, as well as the fog lamps and the hazards. Naturally, all the windows are fully automatic. And we're going to check out the exterior, shall we? Between 2008 and 2009, a pair of new Phantom derivatives hit the market that gave more dynamism to the brand's model portfolio. These models, available as both a hardtop and drop top, were to be known as the Phantom Coupe and Drophead Coupe, or Coupe is pronounced across seas. Inspired by the Phantom II Continental of the 1930s, the Coupe represented the most driver-oriented model of the Rolls-Royce lineup, until the recent release of the all-new Ghost-based Wraith. Designed for the owner who would rather drive than be chauffeured, the overall concept regarding design and execution was first unveiled in 2004 to celebrate the company's 100th anniversary and was originally known as the 100EX. EX stands for experimental and is a historical designation given to Rolls-Royce concepts that were designed to be a functional vehicle to test and debut new technologies. The 100EX was actually the convertible model that would later lead to the Drophead Coupe, while the official hardtop concept debuted in 2006 known as the 101EX. The production Phantom Coupe was ready to hit the road in 2008 as a 2009 model, with a number of key features that gave it that dynamic edge over the Phantom. Aside from its lower stance and shorter wheelbase, the Coupe also features stiffer rear dampers, thicker anti-roll bar, as well as more steering feel. With a slightly thicker steering wheel, there's also a sport button that always begins the car in first gear, raises the shift points, decreases downshift times, and increases throttle response. It also features an adaptive air suspension with 4-corner leveling, and while in sport mode, the suspension also lowers to decrease drag and increase downforce. Of course, sport is relative to the rest of the Phantom lineup. Like the sedan, the Coupe is built on top of an all-aluminum space frame, with the majority of the body panels being aluminum, aside from a steel hood, A-pillars, and picnic boot. You can also opt to replace the hood and A-pillars with single-piece exposed brushed stainless that blends into the grille. That grille is also unique and raked back with a curved profile and is finished in brushed stainless versus a mirror polish. Each body panel is also new compared to the sedan. While the rear fascia and formal roofline does bear some resemblance to the sedan, a closer look will show the sleeker profile and rakeback nature of the coupe. The two most unique things that stand out are the signature rear-hinged coach doors and special front fascia with LED daytime running lamps and turn signals. Of course, with the hand-built nature of a Rolls-Royce, the body panels are brazed by hand for a seamless fitment. Afterwards, they're hand-sanded until perfectly smooth to prepare for paint, and that's a several-step process in itself. The word bespoke comes from unique buyer-specific requests, options to be spoken for, and perfectly describes Rolls-Royce's coach-building division, where the sky is the limit as far as personalized options for your Rolls-Royce. After applying paint, the vehicle is wet sanded by hand between coats, and the final clear coat is then hand polished for hours to give it a mirror finish. Optional pinstripes are evenly placed using a squirrel hair brush by a single individual. The pinstripes alone can take several hours to stripe. At the Goodwood plant in Sussex, England, you won't find assembly lines or machines building the cars. They're manually taken from station to station in one of the last factories of its kind. All in all, it could take a few months for a standard option car to be built. It could take several months or even a year depending on the model, level of options, and bespoke requests. From the factory, the Phantom Coupe is fitted with staggered 21-inch polished aluminum alloy wheels, 8 inches wide in the front and 9.5 inches wide in the rear, representing the largest wheels fitted to a standard production car, and they're perfectly proportioned to half the vehicle's height. Originally, there were 3 different wheel styles to choose from, including 2 forged options, and all feature self-riding Rolls-Royce medallions in the center caps. The tires are asymmetric Goodyear Eagle all seasons and measure 255/50 in front and 285/45 in the rear. Brakes consist of large internally ventilated disc brakes that measure 14.7 by 1.4 inches in front and 14.6 by 0.9 inches in the rear. They can bring the Rolls to a stop from 60 miles an hour in about 122 feet. The coupe also features a 4-wheel independent suspension with double wishbones in front and a multi-link rear. In comparing dimensions, the Phantom Coupe is 15.8 inches longer than a Mercedes S-Class, and is actually 10 inches shorter overall than the Phantom sedan. Overall length is 220.8 inches with a width of 78.2 inches and a height of 62.7 inches, riding on a 130.7-inch wheelbase. Total curb weight's around 5,798 pounds, with a nearly perfect weight distribution with 51% of the weight over the rear wheels. And we're going to pop the hood. The coupe is powered by the same all-aluminum, hand-built, naturally aspirated 6 3/4 liter V12 that powers the Phantom sedan. The BMW-derived mill features double overhead camshafts, direct injection, 4 valves per cylinder, hydraulic lifters, and variable intake and exhaust valve timing with variable intake valve lift. With an 11:1 compression ratio and a redline of 5,600 RPM, it produces 453 horsepower at 5,350 RPM and 531 pound-feet of torque at 3,500 RPM. This translates to 0 to 60 times of 5.5 seconds with quarter-mile times of 14.2 seconds at 100 miles an hour. Top speed is electronically limited to 155 miles an hour. As far as fuel economy, with a 21.1 gallon tank and required premium fuel, expect a rating between 11 miles to a gallon in the city and 18 on the highway. Entering the Phantom is like being cocooned in an abundance of safety and comfort. Open up the rear hinge coach doors and you'll be greeted to one of the most richly appointed cabins on the market, with high-grade leathers, woods, metals, and glass. Everything is designed to evoke that classic feeling while still having that modern, contemporary design element and the modern technology and build. All in all, 450 pieces of leather are hand-stitched, totaling 9 hides, with 9 standard color options and 2 contrasting colors. There's also 6 choices of wood veneer, and of course, through the Rolls-Royce Bespoke program, you can customize everything from materials, custom coloring, embroidery, and more. The design and ergonomics are meant to be very minimalistic, very simplistic, and classic. The supple leather in the Phantom is formed in a way that the colors and dyes permeate through the leather to give it lasting color richness. Its texture is also finished so it won't squeak or crack. Your electric seat controls are located underneath the center console, again appearing very minimalistic. Your heated seats are also located on either side of the console. You do also have piping on the seats that could also be color keyed with special embroidery on the headrests. Down below you do have real chrome plating as well as polished aluminum trim found throughout, plush wool carpeting with an aluminum dead pedal, as well as standard umbrellas for both the driver and the passenger. The plush wool carpeting, like I touched on earlier, making it extremely soft. The leather also wraps the dash with plenty of high-gloss wood veneer, and while overall that looks very much similar to the Phantom sedan, it's only when you take a closer look at the interior that you see the very unique custom accents for the coupe, including the wood that wraps around the windows and the opera lights in the back, not to mention the optional starlight headliner. So let's go ahead and see how she sounds. You'll also notice off to the left, instead of a traditional tachometer, there's a power reserve meter showing you the vehicle's available power at whatever speed you're going down the road. Now, you can actually close the vehicle two different ways. You can reach out and grab the handle and pull it in, or via the little power actuated mechanisms by the two buttons located up there, one for the driver door and one for the passenger door. Push it and hold, and it automatically shuts it. Very nice. You'll also see that the laminated glass slowed up a little bit as it came up here, so it wouldn't make a thud or anything, but just a gradual sound as it went to its normal place. The Phantom Coupe came standard with a 15-speaker premium Lexicon surround sound system with a version of BMW's iDrive navigation mobile media telemetrics interface. It's normally hidden behind the wood veneer panel and a little elegant analog clock. As soon as you reveal the controller and the console here, it automatically flips open. The entire thing is controlled by this one wheel here, up, down, left, and right to go between the different menus and sub-menus, and down for enter. Now, while the original iDrive system was a pretty frustrating system to use and definitely improved over the years, the main goal with using this system in the Rolls-Royce products was to keep that minimalistic layer, even the rotary dial, which hides underneath the center console when not in use. You can also close the panel to reveal the analog clock. Being that the coupe is still a large car, there's also some quarter windows up front to help increase visibility out the sides, and of course they're all wrapped in leather. Up top, you also have a leather-wrapped visor with illuminated vanity mirror and a little card holder. Of course, auto-dimming rearview mirror with 3-position garage home link located down below, and a chrome-plated upper center stack that also features your interior illumination, all LED. In addition to your main lights as well as reading lamps, the vehicle also features ambient illumination located in the door handles, as well as the rear opera lights. As far as the rest of the switches, it corresponds to your parking sensors, raising and lowering the vehicle, as well as your power boot lid. The basic operation of the iDrive system really hasn't changed much over the years. It features a single rotary dial for first generation models where you can click up, down, left, and right to go between the different menus, as well as push down when you find an appropriate selection. This is your main screen, including your settings, communication, navigation, and entertainment. Clicking down brings up your main radio screen where you can choose between your different modes: manually tuning, auxiliary, iPod integration, as well as your sound adjustments. You also have the vehicle's weather band, as well as surround sound options, speed compensated volume, and more. Easier operation for the radio can be found with the manual controls down below, with the digital display, 6 presets, tune, as well as seek, in-dash CD player, and selecting your different modes simply. While in the audio screen, if you click down once more, it brings you back to your main screen where you can select the different options. Navigation, for example. Now the navigation is pretty straightforward. You can zoom in and out, pull up your destination input, check route guidance as well as route information. You also have your date as well as clock. Hands-free Bluetooth telephone as standard, and when you pair it, you can also use the system's voice commands. Also, the system settings consist of your different vehicle diagnostics as well as service intervals, heated seat controls, and more. Once you press that little button to the left, it also hides it if you didn't want the screen to have a little bit more of an elegant look with a simple analog clock. The lighter interior color is also nicely complemented with the lighter wood. Traditional air vents with organ stop registers on top for opening and closing. It's also a simple speedometer cluster. Also accented in wood features the organ stops. In the middle you have a little hidden storage compartment, and once you slide it back it reveals a dialing pad for your telephone with on and off hook buttons, as well as a little felt lined storage tray. Down below is a very traditionally styled quad zone climate control system, with independent fan speeds for both the driver, passenger, and rear passengers. Split level temperature adjustments for both the upper and lower registers, and down below you have your recirculating, rear defrost, as well as turn your AC off. The surround is also lined in hand-stitched leather. Continuing down you have a little storage tray that opens up into two adjustable cup holders. Your iDrive controller neatly tucks away into the center console, and you have a little ashtray, power outlet, and or lighter down below. Also accented in bright work with wood veneer facing. Like I said, in the center console you have all of your electric seat adjustments. Across the side are your heated seats. You have 2% memory for both the driver and passenger side, and to select the different adjustments you just select the desired location, it illuminates, and then you use the little toggle switch to go back and forth or correspond to the other adjustments. The up and down arrows towards the front correspond to your height adjustment. In the middle, your Starlight headliner composed of 1600 individually sewn LEDs. Once you press it, they gradually come on and illuminate like the night sky. You can also get it customized to put specific constellations and other things from a significant part in your past, part of the bespoke options. The center console is limited on space but features a spot for an integrated telephone, SOS emergency roadside assistance, and a little illumination. As far as your steering wheel controls, you have your radio controls, telephone, navigation commands, similar functions to where you can correspond with the iDrive system. With the hands-free telephone, you also have your voice commands. Help!
Help takes you at any time to this general help. With options, the possible command options are read out to you. Cancel immediately closes the dialog. Main menu.
Down in the bottom, you have your cruise control in that little stalk, and in the turn signal stalk with your parking lamps, you also have an integrated driver information system. All you have to do is just push in, and it shows up in the right-hand side digital display, so your fuel consumption, as well as different like average speed and things of that nature. Beautiful. Let's go ahead and check out the back seat. To enter the back, just grab the handle and pull it forward, and then use that power actuated button to slide it forward. Plush wool carpeting. There's also some separate temperature adjustments to the rear as well with those little wheels that you saw at the front. Leather accented grip handles for ease of entry and exit, as well as some LED illumination here, activated by those two black buttons. Not to mention a little lighter or a 12-volt power outlet. So let's go and check out the rest of the vehicle, shall we? Out back, the Phantom Coupe and drop-head counterparts have what's called a picnic boot, composed of two parts. The top portion opens up like a traditional trunk, while the rear opens up into a little platform for seating of 2 or upwards of 330 pounds. As far as the cargo space, both cars have a respectable 13.9 cubic feet, plenty enough for a brief getaway or stowing up to 4 sets of golf clubs. Beneath the floor is your jack and equipment, as well as a storage compartment. Of course, with leather grab handles, illumination, as well as the wool carpeting. Modest lower glove box. With a bit more storage space up top with leather and chrome, space for an MP3 player, auxiliary jack, and a little vent to allow excess air conditioning from the system come in to also double as a cool box. Here you can up or adjust your clock, lock the trunk out, or manually or automatically lower the spirit of ecstasy. The Rolls-Royce Phantom is a prime example of a vehicle that bases its presence on history and tradition. They've evolved ever so slightly over the years into very modern yet stately motor cars. While there are a number of contenders in this segment, nothing is still quite like a Rolls-Royce. Well everyone, I hope you enjoyed this in-depth look at the 2009 Rolls-Royce Phantom Coupe. Be sure to stay tuned next time. There's a lot more where that came from. Take care everybody.